Good morning. Welcome to my garden, Lilac Hill. It is just after 9 a.m. Sunday morning, and we have come through quite the storm. A lot of damage, especially on the west coast of Vancouver Island, from a massive weather system that moves through. And here in my garden, the trees swayed a lot, but thankfully none of these large trees came down, especially with Anne being on the bottom side of the hill. That would have been terrible, but everything managed to stay upright, and now it's just a bit drizzly. So I'm on my way to Powell Lake, and then when I come back, I want to show some of the projects that I'm working on. And I've had a chance to collect some boughs that fell during the storm to make some wreaths for the Christmas wreaths that I like to do. And you can see I put up some of the lighting already. Okay, well, the car's ready right there. And let's go down to Powell Lake. I'm going to drive down because I'm doing some beach combing today. I want to look for some different pieces of driftwood and just see what the storm brought down and washed up on shore. Okay, let's go down to the lake, and then I'll turn the camera back on when I get down to Powell Lake. Powell Lake is about 4 blocks down the street, so let's go see. Okay, I have arrived at Powell Lake. It takes less than a minute to drive down to the lake from the house. And normally I walk down, but bringing the car allows me to take home any treasures that I might find along the beach rather than carrying them back up the hill. And I'm just panning around slowly to show the cliffs and the hillside of the lake. And that area there is actually what I see from my house. So that's when I focus in on the hill around Powell Lake, that's what I see. And there's the lake. I'll get a little bit closer, get rid of the parking lot and my car. So other than one other vehicle and a boat trailer, I have the entire parking lot to myself. So let's just listen to the sound of the lake. It's beautiful. All right, I did write down some fun facts, so I'm going to head down towards the water. And I just wrote down a few things that I want to talk about the area. Okay, so Powell Lake, I'm just going to get someplace where I can turn and focus on the lake without the parking lot and the garbage can. Okay, so there's Powell Lake. Powell Lake is long and narrow. It is 31 miles or 50 kilometers. It's approximately 150 meters or just about 500 feet deep at its deepest point. There are many cabins along the lake. People park their boat trailers in the parking lot and then take their boat up the lake. There's a dock down there that I can walk to. And this is a big recreational area, part of the Sunshine Coast Trail. People come here to hike, backpack, they do day hikes, overnight hikes, mountain bike, fish, canoe, kayak, swim, and camp. And this sandy beach is full of people sunbathing in the summer and swimming in the lake. Let's get a little bit closer. So on the west coast, we call the buildings cabins, and on the east coast they call them cottages. I always find that kind of a funny thing. The water's nice and clean. Wow, this is runoff from the storm we just came through. One heck of a storm. And you can see lots of debris. I've seen it a lot more debris than this though along the lake. I remember one time coming down here and we actually stood on the driftwood like a log boom. Oh, I'm slipping in the sand. All right, So around Powell River, where I live, and Powell River itself is the second shortest river in the world and the shortest river in Canada. So if you're interested in those kinds of statistics, look them up on Google. Thank you, Google. There are also 32 other lakes around the area. There's Inland Lake and Duck Lake and Lois Lake and Haslam. Haslam's a big dog walking area. Beautiful. Duck Lake trails are gorgeous, and people come from all over the world to hike these trails and do the Sunshine Coast Trail, which is approximately 180 kilometers of hut-to-hut hiking. Beautiful. It's just gorgeous out today. Let's see if we can find something interesting to take back to the garden. I'm just walking along the shore. I'm going to walk a ways down here, then I'm going to walk back to the boat launch. So what I'm looking for are pieces of wood that would be good for my stumpery, or pieces that would just show nicely in the garden. Oh gosh, there's some good stuff down here. I really like that smooth one right there. This is a pretty piece of wood. And people don't mind if you take the wood. So look at that, for a little seat. People don't mind if you take the wood, because what happens in the spring is the city just comes and cleans this for the summer. Oh, this is a good one too. I'd love to take that bigger one, but this is good. So what I might do is just make a little pile. I like the second one. I like the color. Oh yeah, that's really good. Oh, and then what I'll do is I'll turn, oh yeah, that's good. I'll turn the camera off, and then I'll carry all my treats up to the car. You can see the water is nice and clean. This is fed by rivers further up, and there's Goat Island off in the distance. There's hiking all around here. I'll turn around this way. There's my car. There's a little playground for the kids. This is hiking trails, a network of hiking. There's a couple of entrances up there. Beautiful, just a beautiful area to live and play and be part of. And there's nobody around, not a soul. Let's see what's down here. That's a nice straight long one right there. Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be great for like to stand up as a post? I can't take this one home, it's too big, but wow. Oh, and this creek is an underground creek that runs from Cranberry Lake near my house, and it feeds into Powell Lake from underground. So lots of driftwood, interesting pieces. This one's, oh, that's a nice one too, the one that's floating. It's beautiful. This is the one I'm going for. Look at this beautiful piece with the curve. I think I can actually get that home. Okay. All right, beach combing aside, I think I've got some nice things for my garden. Oh gosh, I could be down here all day looking at wood. I love wood with a curve in it, because this is going to replace a log that deteriorated, a tree branch. That's good too. This has got some nice detail on it. Okay, wet feet. Oh boy, this looks deeper now on this side. Oh, darn it. Oh, I might go up here. Oh gosh. I'm crossing the stream. There's nobody around, so if I fall in the water, nobody's gonna come find me. Okay, up the sandbank. All right, I'll pile this by, actually, I might have this right up the hill to the car. I love this curved piece. I'm very excited. All right, I'm going to stop for a second. Well, no, you know what? I was going to just turn the camera off so you don't have to hear me huffing myself back up that hill. Then I'll come down for the other ones. I do want to walk to the boat launch. I put a blanket in the back of the car to get my treasures home. And like I said earlier, the city comes and cleans the beach of all the wood anyways. So no one cares if you take pieces. All right, there's the car. I'm puffing now. My log is heavy. See, this is why I brought the car. I wouldn't want to have to carry this home. I live in a very hilly area. Okay. Oh, there's a big raven. Oh my gosh, their wings sound. Can you hear the whooshing of their wings? I'm just going to drop this on the ground. Take off the sand. Oh, okay. Let's open up the car. Okay, so I just got some logs in the car. Said hello to my neighbor. And it's just starting to really rain. So I just want to walk to the end of the boat launch. And then it's time to go home. And figure out where I'm going to place my goodies. Lots of nice seating along here. People to come out and enjoy the water. A lot more people have arrived. Probably since I've got the logs off from the shore into the car. Probably another 5 or 6 cars have shown up. So that's getting busy. 5 or 6 cars is busy. Okay, well, I'm just keeping the lake in focus while I walk down to the end of the dock. And then it'll be time to go back. This is actually an active logging area. And way out there, I'm going to focus in. You can see a tugboat working a boom. So they've brought some logs down out of the forest. It is a logging community. And then they get the logs to the mill. All right, I'm at the end of the dock. Deep, dark water right there. And I'm just gonna start on this side and I'll do a nice pan around and we'll get out of the pouring rain. That's one thing, the weather changes so fast. It was nice when I came down. There weren't any people. Now it's pouring rain and there's a lot more cars up in the parking lot there. One other little fun fact is all of the homes that are out there are passed down from generation to generation. The they're not log, they are float homes. Float cabins on Powell Lake are not attached to any land. So I think that is an interesting thing too, that they all have to be on the water. Okay, my camera's getting wet. I'm getting wet. Let's say goodbye to Powell Lake in the pouring rain and go back and unload the car. All right, I am back from beach combing at Powell Lake and I'm just going to open the trunk and share the pieces that I found. And I'll just explain why I picked what I picked. This piece I picked for the color of the bark. I think it's really beautiful. That orange is just going to glow in a nice setting. Not sure what kind of wood that is, but it's very pretty. Set that one down. And then the other ones are picked mainly because they have something interesting about them. This one, I really liked the holes. I think that's called wormwood. It's going to make a great habitat in the stumpery. And then there's this one for its curve, which actually could stay standing just like that in the ground. These other ones all have curves. That's the big one I first found. So I'm going to unload all of these, get them out of the car. And then this one too stands up on its own. I think that's just going to be great again for the stumpery. Oh, it's actually going to stay standing, but I'll lay it down. So I'll come back and unload the car. Just want to share a few things that are happening in the garden and things I'm going to be working on. I want to share right now the mum, but I'm going to just show this area since I'm closer. This is getting completely redone. This boulder needs to be sunk into the ground. The boulders need to be moved around a little bit. This all needs to be re-banked. Maybe put some of my pieces that I just got on the edge of this side and build up the back side with maybe some more of the sticks that I've got stored. And then I can add more soil and make the soil level higher, because I've mentioned a couple of times there's no soil on the property. The ground is just ground with rock and clay. I wanted to share the rosemary. These were from the dump. Oh, the smell is wonderful. I've given them some compost. So this is just going to be a great bed. I've got some brown edging for here that we can put around the back side. I'm really looking forward to doing this. And then wildflowers will be down more on the other side of the bank. So this is just an exciting project. Some of these big perennials that came in perennial wildflower seed, like the daisies, will stay. The rudbeckia will stay. And there's liatris in here, lupin, that'll all stay. This side too just needs a good cleaning, but nothing changing. Just new soil. Do that in the spring. I don't really do a lot of cleanup in the winter. All right, so as we come around the corner here, there's my patio. Every brick and stone and piece of cement was dug out of the ground by me. I'm just gonna close the door so I can walk on it without bumping into the door with the camera. I love all the detail. I love all the colors. It just looks really nice, and it's nice and solid. No rocking. Packed it with some sand that I had underneath the path. This side is all going to go into bark mulch because that's clay and very difficult to dig. I'd have to probably pickaxe that ground to get that into a garden. I don't really need a garden there. I'll just keep that as bark mulch. And these interesting bricks. Look at some of the beautiful moss. And there's raised areas or plinths or stones to put plant pots on. And I deliberately did this with different raised sections so I can just bring my plant pots out in the spring and set everybody up right here. These are pieces of foundation cement with rock in them. I think they're beautiful. Look at these rocks, they're so interesting. And then back here, I'm going to be closing off this path. I don't need a path. The lilac, white lilac, is getting really big, and I don't want to be forcing myself around the white lilac to get on the path. I don't need a path back there. It's not a nice view. I want to close it in and make it into more of a habitat area and a hedgerow behind the California lilac. So that is my nice path. Oh, let's look in here, and I'll share the yellow mum. This yellow mum is a funny surprise because I bought it from the plant sale in May, from the Powell River plant sale, and the color on the ticket said that it was mauve and pink. And I thought that's hilarious. It's actually yellow. So if it is a perennial, that will be great. More than likely, this is a little annual. Has lots of growth on it though, so maybe with the winter protection in here, it won't die and it'll come back next year, but it's just really pretty. A nice little shot of color. I don't have it outside because with the change of weather, it can happen very quickly, go to freezing, and that would definitely finish it fast. There's still some pelargoniums back there, and I've got some of the hyacinth bulbs in their ceramic pots. The winter in here now. But other than that, it's all closed off for winter. I covered the shelves with some plastic just to help with the damp because it's not heated. And I'm looking forward to next year and just really using this space. There's still another shelf that's going to go on the one side for seedlings, and it's just great. I'm so happy with this. It's a beautiful little building. Okay. I want to share, oh yeah, my pinecone branches are over there. I want to share that. There's my lighting. It's going to look so good. Can never have enough lighting in the winter for the dark, dark months. All this on the ground, just lying there, ready for use. My neighbor thinks these are spruce. They're not cedar, I know that, because cedar is this. But look at these boughs, just to make all the cedar wreaths that I want. And there's holly on the property, and so many nice winter type plants. This is cedar. I know that's cedar. So I think my neighbor said these are spruce. So those are spruce cones. But there's one in here that's really interesting. I found this actually over by the butterfly bush. And I keep it in water until I can use it. But it's got a natural curve on it. So is that going to be great for a wreath? I have 3 wreath frames. 2 of them are very old. They were made by my Uncle Wesley many years ago out of the grapevine that grew on their pool house. And I have a small one that I think could be made up really nicely for the door of the blue building, and a bigger one that can go on a door on the house. And then a third one, my neighbor Shelley made me a wreath frame from some vines, and I can wire some material onto that as well. So thank you for coming along with me to go down to Powell Lake beach combing, and thank you for watching.